Hi guys, it's Kristen. I'm here. I'm a little bit late. I actually just got done being interviewed, which was really cool. But the interview went way over what I was expecting, which is really cool. But I do apologize for those of you who are, who were waiting on the scope to start at 1, because I did intend for it to start at 1. But so I don't have anything set up like I normally do, and I was using a headset because it's better for interview audio quality. To try and use that and talk on the phone. So yeah, I just got done with a phone interview, and so I thought that I would just try and do a real quick scope here about something that we talked about on the interview. So hi everybody. So my interview was, I was being interviewed for a summit, and I'll be sure to keep you ladies up to date. I'm trying to find somewhere where there's not too much sun, but there's a little bit of natural light. So I'll keep you ladies up to date because it was an epically fantastic interview, I thought. So I'm not into tooting my own horn, and it wasn't just because it was with me, but we talked about so many things, pregnancy and birth and natural birth, and even touched a little bit on natural mothering and natural baby care. It was just so much fun. So I'll let you know when that interview is live so that you can go listen to it, because we chatted for like an hour and 20 minutes about those things, and that's why I'm late, because the interview started at noon, and I just got off the phone from that interview. So it was really a blessing to be asked to do an interview, because as you know, those are topics that I love. So I thought that I would just, give you a real quick bite of wisdom, because I think that my family is all outside, and ironically, Scott, I think they're out moving the goat pen. We have goats. We have milk goats. And, oh, my hair's all a muss too. Anyways, we have milk goats, and we keep them in a pen that we rotate around so that they're constantly getting fresh goodies to munch on. And I think they're out moving the goat pen, and I think Scott has Sadie on his back. So let me tell you, if that's not a man, I haven't heard of a man before. but I want to get out there so that he doesn't have to try and hammer in posts to the goat pen with a baby on his back. But so anyways, what we talked about, like I said, the interview was all things birth and baby, but one of the things that we talked about was what would I tell a mom who said she was worried about the pain in birth. And so I thought that I would cover that. Real quick, I'm Kristen from naturalbirthandbabycare.com. I'm the founder of naturalbirthandbabycare.com. I also do the Birth, Baby, and Life podcast, and I've been doing this scope about all things birth, baby, life, mothering, this is the 3rd week that we've done it, and I'm finally, ladies, getting the scope up on the website. I can't remember if I told you that on Tuesday or not, but it's up there. So if you head to the blog, you'll see the scopes coming up on the blog. I'm trying to get all of them up there. I've got 2 up so far. I'm going to try and put 2 more up today. For those of you who are waiting on the podcast, I'm going to try and get that up tomorrow and another scope up, and then hopefully I'll schedule a couple to go up on Saturdays. I don't actually work on Saturdays because we observe the Sabbath on Saturdays, but I will schedule the blog to put a couple up, and then maybe put a couple up on Sunday so that we get kind of caught up, so that all of the scopes that I've done for the past 2.5 weeks are up there. So for those of you who want to watch replays, they'll be there. But again, naturalbirthandbabycare.com. Now let's talk about what if you're worried about pain in birth, and we're just going to go over this real quick. So the first thing I want to challenge you with is like a paradigm shift. So I don't want you to think about the pain in birth, because really thinking about the pain in birth is kind of a medical model kind of thing, because in the medical model of birth, there are so many more things, but one of the things that we do is we alleviate the pain of birth with medications. So a lot of us go from, okay, well, we're going to have a natural birth, so how do I alleviate the pain of birth naturally? But that's not the point of birth. The point of birth is to have a baby, right? So, but we can get more complex than that. I don't mean to imply the medical model thing that the end justifies the means, in that anything that we do to have a quote-unquote healthy baby, or whatever that might mean to them, is justified. So I don't mean the only thing that matters is having a healthy baby, because I don't think that that's a healthy perspective on birth at all. But what I mean is that birth is about having your baby. Birth is about working with your baby. And for those of you ladies who don't know, it's not just your body opening up and dilating during birth. In fact, I've talked about it on a few scopes already. Your baby is really active during birth. I could do a scope where I show you with a little baby doll model how the baby works during birth. Your baby's rotating and moving and coming down. That's all very active on your baby's part. And you, during birth, are working with your baby to work with that. And really, I want to challenge you to make that make that your paradigm, make that your focus, so that it's not, how can I handle this and work through this pain, which is kind of a martyrish attitude, but more, how do I work with this baby? And I'm actually going to flip this camera around, ladies, because my just came around. You see them? Those are our goats. So they are moving the pen, because if the goats are out, that means that the pen has been moved. I just love watching them. So they let them out to wander around while they move the pen, and then the boys will round them all back up again. Anyways, okay, so you got a little peek at my goats there. And I see hearts. You guys give me hearts for my goats. Anyways, back to birth and babies. So, yeah, think about it, that this isn't about managing pain, but this is working with my baby. And then I really think that helps you to, it helps you to have a good thing to focus on during birth. I'm trying to get that fan out of the picture, because that probably makes somebody's tummy upset. So think about, how am I going to work with my baby? And then when you're preparing for birth, you ask yourself during pregnancy, how does a woman work with her baby during birth? And then that gives you strategies that you can use during your birthing time, strategies that you can use with your baby. And sometimes I think we think that, birth is natural and it's supposed to be instinctive or whatever. My body's supposed to be made for it, but when you learn about birth, how birth works, the hormones of birth work, what your baby's doing during birth, and you learn practical skills, those skills become part of your instinct set, and they empower you to work with your baby better. And also, like, birth can be intense. Even a perfectly natural, undisturbed birth could be intense, or maybe even painful. I wouldn't describe my births really as painful, more as intense. They require attention. They require effort. But when we know ways to work with birth in advance, we can use those during our birthing time. And if you're stuck in like a bed in a hospital strapped to monitors, you can't work with birth, you can't work with your baby, and it probably is going to hurt a lot, because your baby is like, trying to grind around in your pelvis and stuff, getting in the right position, and your body's trying to open up, and it's getting no help whatsoever from gravity or from you moving or from your baby being able to be shifted into an optimal position by your movement or anything like that. So when you learn how birth works, like not just from a physical perspective, but physiologically and opening hormonally and everything too, then you have a lot of strategies to use during your birthing time. And again, you're focusing on your baby, and you're able to get up, you're able to move, you're able to work with things. And I won't tell you, ladies, that it's not going to be intense, because you're bringing new life into the world. And think about it. This is an analogy that I love. So think about a woman who's running a marathon or who's climbing a mountain. She does things to prepare herself before that climb, right? She does things to prepare herself before that marathon. And then in the moment, she isn't expecting it to be easy the entire time. I mean, a woman who's climbing a mountain, she might feel like physical pain in her muscles while she's climbing. It's physically taxing. And the woman who's running a marathon might start to feel really tired. She's just, but she's got to pull on all of her reserves. And we celebrate those women. We celebrate that woman when she gets to the pinnacle of the mountain. We celebrate that woman when she victoriously runs across the finish line. And so it's just, yeah, you need to get out of your body's way. And I think that when you do the preparation during pregnancy, I love it. I think it's Elena Tonetti that said in Birth into Being, she said, when you do the work during pregnancy, all that's left when you give birth is to give birth. So when you do this preparation during your pregnancy, when you get into your birthing time, you are able to get out of the way. You're not stuck in this like mental trap of, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. What do I do? How do I fix this? You're able to work with your baby and pull on things. And I also think that a birthing partner is a really great asset to have, because they can help you in this situation too. But yeah, so when we think about a home birth or not a home birth, when we think about a marathon runner or a mountain climber, we celebrate them. We encourage them in their preparation. We encourage them when the going gets tough during the race, during the climb, and we celebrate their victory when they get to the top. And we should do that for birth. Oh gosh, I gotta go listen to it again, Danielle, so I can tell what the quote was, or maybe you can type it out. I'm like thinking so fast here. But really, we celebrate those women and we celebrate what they do. And we should be able to celebrate a birthing woman, and we should feel okay with ourselves preparing. Oh, look, there's Scott with Sadie on his back. She fell asleep while they were moving the goat pen. Anyways, so really we should, we want to prepare for birth, and we want to go in there and we want to focus on the baby, and we want to focus on what we've learned, and we want to, going back to our mountain climber and our racer, it might not always be easy, but she knows that she can do it. She knows that she's worked for it. She believes in herself. She believes in her body. She believes in how she's prepared. And she's just going to do what she's prepared for. And that is what we can do during birth, ladies. So if you're worried about pain, I'm not going to promise you that it's going to be easy street. I'm not going to promise you that it's super simple. I mean, some births might be super simple, but really I've had 7 babies at this point, and all of them naturally. And I would say that all of their births, there's been a period where I had to call upon my inner strength and say, I can do this, I can make it through this. And then a couple of them, I can remember looking at my midwife when I was birthing my first baby, and her name's Charlie, telling her, Charlie, I don't think I can do this. And she looked back at me and said, just looked me in the eye, just like I'm looking at you, and said, Kristen, you are doing this. And it was like total paradigm shift right there. It was like, I am doing it. So ladies, when you're in the moment of birth, it might feel tough, but you're working with your baby. You are doing good work, and you are doing this. It's not, can I do it? It's you are doing it. Now, if you're experiencing a lot of pain, then I would say breathe through that contraction and then make some changes. I don't want you to suffer stuck in bed or anything. Make some changes. Make a position change. See what might help. Look over those things. Have your birth partner, look through their little birth partner cheat sheet that you got from your birthing class. And if you don't have a birthing class with a cheat sheet, go over to mamababybirthing.com, M-A-M-A, babybirthing.com, and sign up for my online classes. I'll be happy to deliver your cheat sheet wherever you are in the world. But he can look through that and get some ideas, or she can look through that and get some ideas. I'm not telling you just suffer, but I'm telling you, when you shift your paradigm, when you do this preparation during pregnancy, it makes a huge difference during birth. And I really, maybe this sounds audacious, but I think it can change pregnancy and birth for women all over the world. And maybe more importantly, for our daughters and for our granddaughters. So that when Sadie, that you just saw sleeping on Scott's back, is ready to have her baby, birth and how she's able to prepare and how she's supported during that will look totally different. And my Cassidy, she turns 14 in, just a few weeks. When she's ready to have her first baby, I would like to see, that the world is different for her. And certainly for Sadie, who, she's got 20 or 30 years to go. I would like to say that, we've seen change. And ladies, I really think that the way that we will change birth for our daughters and our granddaughters is by changing birth for ourselves. So while we're birthing those daughters, then we need to make a change. And part of that is saying that, it's okay if there's some pain or intensity in birth, but I am a strong woman and I can prepare for this and I can handle this, and the people around me are supportive in handling this, and we can do it. And I think that's so powerful and so important. So I know this has been kind of a quick scope, but hopefully that will encourage you. I'll leave you again with my goats came back around. Leave you again with a picture of my sweet goats. That's Rocket there. This is Blackberry, the one closest to us. He's our baby. That's my Galen's 4-H pat goat. And then Mr. Spock is the one with the blue collar. And then Zig is the one behind Mr. Spock with the black collar. So Blackberry is the one in the front there. They're all boys. They're all bucklings. They can't be daddies. Or they're all wethers. They can't be daddies, but they're our boys that were born in this year's kid crop. So aren't they cute? That's Blackberry. He's my buddy. Anyways, ladies, okay, so you had fun seeing my goats. I hope that I gave you some good information about birth, and with that, I'll go go see if Scott wants me to take Sadie from him so he can finish setting up the goat pen. And I hope that you ladies have a blessed day, and I will talk to you hopefully at 1. I don't have an interview tomorrow, so hopefully at 1 on the dot. Again, Kristen from naturalbirthandbabycare.com. If you want more about birth, if you want more about baby, check out mamababybirthing.com. And I will be happy to, walk you through this every week. And I will talk to you soon, ladies. Have a